Chainsaw Man Chapter 103 has us continuing from the perspective of Denji, which leads to a few possible major implications as far as how Part 2 is going to go. But hi, Axivon here, and let's talk about the newest chapter that was released this week. Quick note, sorry for the later than normal video. After food poisoning and then my car breaking, it's been a really rough week. I wanted to make sure I got this out as soon as possible. After another week-long delay for Chainsaw Man, I'll make sure to have the next one out on time. I promise. Chapter 103 starts with the public perspective on Chainsaw Man. We see that the news is reporting on the incident, which opens up a pretty curious perspective. They report that Denji took down the cockroach devil and saved a cat. If they knew he saved a cat, they definitely know that he let the young man and elderly people die, clearly refraining from divulging that information. In my opinion, it would seem like someone is trying to fit a narrative to keep Chainsaw Man as a hero. Maybe the Japanese government is aware of how strong Denji could be, so they keep him in a positive light for the public eye. This keeps people from fearing him and keeps him from getting stronger. We then switch to the perspective of your everyday people, with comments anywhere from, "I'm a huge fan," to, "The devil hunters need to hurry up and kill him." This section of the chapter ending with Denji being interviewed. Of course, no one being aware that he is Chainsaw Man. What this shows us is that for the most part, Denji is unchanged. He's still our goofy, lovable protagonist, searching for the spotlight and women. I guess searching isn't the correct word, as he's technically found the spotlight, just as Chainsaw Man instead of Denji. The goofy smile that he has on his face as everyone cheers for him has got to be the greatest thing ever, though. I just wanted to point that out. He really hasn't changed from what we've seen. This leads us into Hirofumi approaching Denji, though. From this part, we get confirmation that he does in fact know that he goes to school with Chainsaw Man, contradictory to what he said to Asa, but this will lead into a later discussion. Denji, however, doesn't remember Hirofumi, claiming that he had never had assassins coming after him. Hirofumi invites Denji for some food to talk, and of course Denji accepts. While the discussion that they have illuminates why Hirofumi is in this story, it isn't as important as what isn't said, at least for Denji's progression as a character. To break it down, Hirofumi admits to being a part of an organization meant to keep Denji's identity from being exposed. Denji asks what would happen if he was exposed, and Hirofumi threatens to not let him eat the cake or anything else he ordered by keeping all the utensils to himself. Denji simply starts eating the cake with his hands. This may seem so simple, but it's huge for his character. I saw someone say it's in reference to having your cake and eating it too, continuing as Chainsaw Man and having everyone know who he is. I don't think it's that simple though. This is the Denji who didn't care that he was being controlled or taken advantage of as long as he got what he wanted and lived a better life than he had before. The idea of a place to live, food, and women kept him in Makima's control. But now? No, now he's not taking orders from anyone. He's still going to get what he wants, but instead of listening to others' demands, he's going to take it. He is unapologetically Denji. This could lead to Denji really becoming an antagonist, as that doesn't necessarily sound like good guy behavior. But I think that takes us into the next subject at hand. I know I had predicted that Denji would be the antagonist, and while I still think that's correct, it isn't that simple. In a story where we have two perspectives from characters who oppose each other, or essentially two main characters, we could see a dynamic where Asa and Denji are both the protagonist and antagonist as the perspective switches. One week Denji might be the protagonist, the next he's the antagonist. There are so many possibilities that can lead to us exploring a deeply immersive story. The chapter comes to an end though, showing us that Denji's goals in life really haven't changed, just his method of attaining them. Hirofumi asks why Denji fights devils, and Denji gives a very simple answer. He says, "Because I want people to find out I'm Chainsaw Man. Because once my secret's out, the ladies will be all over me." Hirofumi can't even refute the point. Hirofumi can't even refute the point, caught up in its own words as he leans back, thinking. Chapter 103 of Chainsaw Man may have been short, but it did miracles for Denji's character. This does, however, seem like a good stopping point for Denji's story at this point. I think in 104 we will be back to Asa at the latest 105. But there is such an interesting dynamic currently happening, and I can't wait to see how it shapes out. This, however, was a relatively quick video for a relatively quick chapter. We once again have another 1 week delay, so chapter 104 will be here on the 14th of September, and as long as I don't have another crappy week, that one will be on time. Fujimoto is cooking. I'm fine with it. As always, though, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Otherwise, peace.